All right, welcome back to the Krueg Show as we look ahead to the 2025 NFL draft with one of the guys that we're really excited about in this draft, and that's Minnesota defensive end Jah Joyner, and he's with us to chop it up and talk a little bit about his pre-draft process. Jah, thanks for a few minutes, man. Good to talk to you.
Thank you for having me.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. We were just talking about you're a Connecticut guy. You played high school ball, born in Connecticut, dominated in the high school ranks at Danbury High School. Talk to us a little bit about growing up. What was it like growing up in Connecticut? Were you a big Pats fan?
I'm actually an Eagles fan. Growing up in Connecticut, Dad's a Bills fan and Mom's a Niners fan. So the whole
Oh,
household was kind of crazy. But yeah, growing up in Connecticut has been I guess just great being over here. Not a lot of looks come out of Connecticut in terms just like being able to go to Minnesota and stuff like that. So the support cast around me was that's still around me. It's been a blessing and an honor to have those guys support me. It's pretty cool to have Coach Thierry by my side, my high school football coach, getting me to where I am now, and his belief in me, one of the first coaches to ever believe in me, and football wise, in that aspect, and pushing me to have new light and have new opportunity outside of Connecticut. So yeah, it's pretty good.
yeah, you had a great career at Danbury, 24 sacks over the final two seasons. Had a big senior year. You had 13 sacks in 8 games, first team all conference, and you were on your way to Boston College, and then said, you know what? No, I'm going to go to Minnesota. What was it about Minnesota? Was it Coach Fleck, or what flipped you from the BC Eagles to the Golden Gophers?
Yeah, truly honored to get recruited by all those teams. I felt home at BC at the moment with Coach Reed as my D line coach, and what he displayed in every meeting that I went there was like I felt like I could relate to him, and I felt like I was relating to him and his plan for me. I really believed it. So yeah, that's what led me to commit to BC. It was that coach right there. When the coaching staff changed, I was gonna go somewhere and commit to a head coach. I wanted to commit to a culture. I wanted to commit to someone that was going to stay there long enough that I was going to be there. So I felt that Minnesota had that, and it wasn't just about football. At the end of the day, it was more so becoming a man off the field as well, and Minnesota does that extremely well, and they've shown that over the past couple years under Coach Fleck. So in the development on the field with their players, coming in at 215, coming in at 205, defensive end, and sticking with me throughout my entire career at Minnesota. Truly special and just testament of how they grow their players.
I mean, what kind of relationship do you have with Coach Fleck? He always he was an ex-Niner, he was a 49er for a while, and he's just always had a ton of fight, really sharp, really good guy. I love the way he runs his program, but what kind of relationship do you have with Coach?
Oh, I love my relationship with Coach. I can go into the offense anytime that I want, and we just talk life, talk ball. At the end of the day, he's one of those coaches where if you don't fit him, it doesn't matter. I'm not like a rowdy, like loud guy like him, but I still connect with him, which makes it special. And he really has a great connection with his players. So I think our relationship built when my D line coach left on my official visit in Minnesota. So he became the D line coach at the moment. So just talking ball with him and with the head coach, that was pretty special.
Tell us a little bit about your family. I see you're the son of Matthew and Roshina Joyner, and you got four siblings. Are they athletes like you,
Mhm.
or were you the only athlete in your family?
The athlete went straight to me. My two sisters, Taji and Inaja, they played track. So well, they did track. Um, And then everybody else, they really didn't do anything. I actually have four sisters, three that was in the household, all older than me. One that's outside the household, she's younger. So yeah, all four sisters, and so yeah, only boy.
Seriously, and you're the man of the house. So you go to Minnesota, and I can't remember their depth chart, but I knew they had Boye Mafe. I mean, who was they had another guy there too? Who were the stars on that defensive line when you first showed up? And did those guys help you along in your early days?
Yeah, of course. The guys that were in front of me was Asezi Otomo, number 9, that was on our team. MJ Anderson, another defensive end that was on our team. Thomas Rush, and he was playing rush. He was
Yeah,
more stand up, just like Boy. He was under Boy. And all those guys helped me become the player that I am today, especially Boye, especially Asezi Otomo, in terms of just like work ethic and how they got to where they were. Just following them and following their process and following their routine. Preparing for a game or getting their body right in the off season, stuff like that, little things. Taking notes, proper notes, taking game notes and stuff like that. Those different things that they taught me, and I definitely wanted to relate to the younger guys when they came in. But so yeah, they taught me a lot when I was in Minnesota, and I appreciate them a lot.
it. Rush was a Niner one summer, and he had one of the most amazing preseasons. This guy will absolutely go get the quarterback. I mean, he really he. I mean, there are guys that have better bodies for the game and longer arms and more talent. But man, that guy was impressive with the 49ers. Do you know what he's doing now? Where he's at?
I have no idea. He went to one of our practices last year,
Did he?
um, but I haven't contacted him yet. But it's just a testament to the work ethic from athletes coming out of Minnesota. And we don't got to be the biggest, strongest guy, but mentally, we're gonna be there for sure.
Best part about living in Minnesota, the worst part about living in Minnesota. what I mean, you're
You
from
see, like
Connecticut,
the
so
thing
you're
is, like,
used to the cold weather. You're used to
right,
cold winters and that kind of
I
thing,
am
but
definitely used to the
but
cold.
it's not the same, is it? Or is it?
It's not. The best thing is the restaurants there. The restaurants is for sure. A lot of steakhouses out there. I love Manny's. Anybody that want to go to Manny's, I love Manny's.
Okay. What's your cut? What are
I
you
took my
you a
family to
country
Fogo de
T-bone?
Chao.
You going ribeye? What's your steak of choice?
Yeah, I'm going ribeye every time. Medium ribeye.
There you
It's
go.
kind of
There you
crazy. It's
go.
kind of funny because like I always went well done, coming from
Right.
Connecticut, and Coach Fleck put me on just medium. So now I just go medium every time.
There you go. There you go.
Worst thing out of Minnesota,
Yeah, what's the worst thing?
I think I think honestly, just like I'll say like the roads. Like driving in
Really?
Minnesota is tough.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because there's
Uh,
so many like highways, like different highways, just so many just different things. It's kind of tough.
are you a guy that when you got to Minnesota, man, you're because you come from a big family, were you homesick for the family, or when you got to Minnesota, it's like, hey man, yeah, I'm good.
Um, the reason why I did go far and go to Minnesota was to get away from my family. I think I was really really close. Well, I am still am really really close to my family. I wanted to I guess find myself without my family. They've done a lot for me for my life and upcoming, and so I wanted to definitely move away and just find myself, find my groove, and get things rolling without them because they're not going to be here for forever for my entire life. So yeah.
Yeah, academic all Big Ten. What are you majoring in when football's done for you? What do you want to do? I mean, you're going to make millions in the NFL, but when it's all over and you want to have that second career, if you do, what could you see yourself doing?
Yeah, a goal of mine was to graduate from Minnesota and get a degree there. So my major was sociology of criminal law. So I definitely wanted to do something in that range of just being a lawyer. I don't know what type of lawyer, but having a sociology degree, you can have a lot of realms in that. So yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about your squad this year. Tell me about Danny Strigow. Do you guys have a pretty good little rivalry going? It seemed like I kept watching a lot of the film last night of your season, and it's like I see a lot of you, and then I see a lot of him. I mean, he's a hell of a player in his own right.
I love Danny, one of our captains last year, last couple of years actually. So yeah, me and him came in together 2020, and we always race to the quarterback. We always find a way to get to the quarterback first, in that little competitive nature. But the respect that we have for each other goes beyond ball. I can literally call him right now. He'll answer and see what's up, and see what's wrong with me. That's the relationship that we had in that 2020 class. We came coming in. But I learned a lot of things from Danny, and he learns a lot of things from me. So yeah.
What's one thing that Danny's better at than you? Well, give me one thing where you're probably maybe a little better than him.
I think we're just completely different players at the end of the
Yeah.
day. I think his mentality on first and second down, and my mentality on third down, just different styles of play. So I'll say that.
What do you view? I mean, I used to scout. I looked at your film. To me, you got an amazing first step. To me, I love the first step explosion. It jumps off the tape. To me, your first step is your as all pass rushers, all D line coaches will talk about your get off. Your get off. I feel like you get off the line of scrimmage with a pretty explosive first step. And it looks like you've worked on it a lot. Talk to us about what you view your strengths as.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing in my game that I always did a good job was getting to the quarterback. In our D line room, we always talked about affecting the quarterback. It's not always about getting sacks. So, and obviously getting the ball out in that quarter on the quarterback. So I think those are the biggest things in terms of just like my game and just getting after the quarterback. My speed rip is one of my go-to moves,
Mm-hmm.
and my long arm is one of my go-to moves as well. So I think those are the things that you're going to get from me because those won't leave me. I think the biggest thing in terms of just like that's why I came back last year was to get better at first and second down. So getting better at that, and being more consistent first, second, and third down guy for next year and for the league. So I think I've worked on that pretty well, and yeah.
The other thing I think that jumped out to me is just that I feel like your endurance is really incredible. It seems like you get better as the games go on. We see that motor and we see you kind of wearing down your opponent a little bit. It's like you're hitting them with body blows, body blows, body blows. Here comes the fourth quarter, and that guy's a little spent, and you seem like you got a lot left. Where does that come from? Is that just conditioning? Is that just pure off season work?
I think it was one game where I felt like drained, and that was the UCLA game. But
Mm-hmm. Because of the
um,
weather, maybe.
but I have no idea what was going on. But the practice from Minnesota and how we practice and how we do everything in a standpoint of getting ready for a game is beyond. And if you go to one of their practices, one of our practices, you're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? But you're gonna think it's a lot of chaos, but it's actually really neat and consistent every time you go to practice. But that was our conditioning. Running through drill to drill every time, and how the pace of practice. We didn't do any conditioning after practice, so that was our conditioning. Um, but yeah, I feel like every even throughout the entire career, my entire career, and throughout every season, I think every time week one through whatever week we're done, I do get better, and I think that's just a field thing on how I've even in high school, going back to high school, how I've progressed, I guess, throughout the season. I think it's just more so um, knowing my opponents more and knowing my body more, and so yeah, those things.
Who did you go up in? You had a good game against Michigan in the Big House in late September. 8 tackles, you had a sack. They beat you guys by a field goal, but you guys hung. I mean, it was 27-24. Did you go up against Miles Hinton in that game? Who did you go up against in that Michigan game? Do you remember?
You said the tackle.
Yeah, tackle. Who was it Hinton in on your side, or do you remember who you had in that game?
What number is Hitton?
Maybe 78, maybe. No, 78's Kenneth
78.
Grant. No, Kenneth Grant's 78. He might be 77. I'd have to look him up. Maybe 76.
I seen a
He's
seven
he's a
on
huge
there.
man. He's 6'6", 330.
Oh yeah, I did go against him, and I think he went out in the first quarter.
Oh, did
And
he?
then somebody else came in. Um, but yeah, he was um, obviously bigger tackle, longer guy, um, and you're not going through him. So yeah, one of the more talented tackles that I've won against throughout my career.
I had a chance one time to talk pass rushing with Charles Haley, the Hall of Famer, and I asked him. I said, "What? How do you go about the game? You know, how do you know what move you're going to throw at what time?" And he says, "You know what? I like to start with a bull rush. You know, stripe on a stripe, and just see if I can go through the guy. And once I can really consistently bull rush him, then I'll start, trying to beat him with speed or trying to beat him with a counter inside." What is your mindset to try to set up a tackle? The game starts. It's the first series. Is there a way you like to start games to try to set up the offensive tackles a little bit better?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's more game plan wise, if anything. Coach Debo did a great job of and I feel like the whole defensive line group as a whole did a great job of just dissecting these tackles last season and what their tendencies was later in the season. So how they started the game, how they went against a speed rusher like some of the guys on our team, how they went against power, where their eyes were. How their stances were, if they had a vertical set or a horizontal set, most of the time, what moves to do off that. So that's what we looked at. If it was a tackle that was more so vertical setter, we'll go off speed. If it was more horizontal, then we'll go inside or how more a counter move or power. So yeah, I think that's more so how I started the game. Looking at those things, I know that Maryland game, we knew that we can power them the entire game. So yeah, we did start with power that game, and even Michigan, those guys, and we knew they were going to run the ball. So it was more so run attack to pass. But when those guys opened up, we knew we can take the inside. So stuff like that.
Let's talk about a couple players before we finish up. Arianti Ursary, you practiced against this guy, and the movement ability of that guy for 340 pounds is almost legendary. I know that some people said he ran a 1.52 10-yard split, and I was like, no, there's no way. And that would have been incredibly fast. I mean, I think they timed him at like 1.77 or something, but which is still an incredible 10-yard split. But what was it like practicing against Ursary? What kind of player is he?
Yeah, I think the reason why I feel like we both got better throughout our entire career at Minnesota. Definitely more athletic tackle. Not a lot of people think that when they see him, but when you watch his tape, he's more athletic than anything. Strong, and that can use his hands way better than a lot of his tackles that we see. Um, he's a guy that's going to be a sleeper pick. I feel like one of my best friends on the team. We've grown that relationship in our class. So yeah, definitely got me better throughout my entire career, and so yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about your meeting with the Niners. I know the Niners met with you before the draft, and they also met with Strigow, by the way. Wouldn't it be something if the Niners wound up with both you and Strigow? That would be amazing. What was your meeting like with the 49ers?
That
What
would be
kinds
great.
of who'd you meet with, and what kinds of things did they want to know?
Yeah, I met with a scout at the combine or Senior Bowl. I forgot when it was, but they really just wanted to get to know me, honestly. What schemes I prefer, whether it's 4 or 3. And another thing was, can I go on coverage? So they wanted to see that more and more of me. But I think the meeting went great. It was cool to get coached by KJ, right, Coach
Right.
KJ,
Yeah.
and his his mindset, and his coaching philosophy was pretty cool to see, and have a standpoint of just like what is getting coached by an NFL coach is like. But it was pretty cool in that standpoint.
How cool would it be to play opposite Nick Bosa?
No, it would be awesome to pick his brain, to see how he works, see his routine, and how he does everything. So um, his approach to the game, it would be pretty cool to learn from for sure.
John, what was it like? Do you went to the Mobile? You went to Mobile, right? Or was it the?
I
Did you
did.
go to Frisco? Or did you play in two All Star games or one?
I did the Senior Bowl in Mobile.
What was that week like for you? Was there anybody that you either went up against or somebody at your position that impressed you? Was there somebody that you were like, wow, that guy's got a lot of talent, either a defensive end or an offensive lineman that you did but one on one against?
Yeah, I think going against one of the tackles, what is his name? I think it was NC State. I forgot his name. I trained with him
Belton,
in
Anthony Belton.
Belton. Yeah, yeah. I think he was pretty good. One of the tackles that I felt going into we can go power, but I think it was more he was really good against power. So I think he was more he was I feel like he's underrated honestly. Just going against him and seeing his film and stuff like that. Just doing pre-draft film on him before I went against him. So and then a guy at my position. I felt like that just brought like a lot of energy and brought his style to play was Feme. So I think or Femi, I forgot his last name, but
Olafemi
I think he was
Oladejo.
yeah
Yeah,
him.
Oladejo.
Uh,
He's from UCLA.
yeah, UCLA. It was I actually met him when he was at UCLA, so it was pretty cool to see him at the Senior Bowl. But yeah, he brought a lot of energy and brought his style play, and he's gonna be a pretty good player.
Hey, last two before we let you go. What is when you're dreaming of the NFL? Were you dreaming of being an Eagle? Are you dreaming of what do you see when you see yourself playing in the NFL? Do you see yourself playing for a certain team, winning a Super Bowl? Tell us a little bit about your dreams for playing in the league and what they exactly are.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing. Oh wait, hold on, my phone about to die. Grandma, yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh, no sweat, no sweat. We can. We're taping it. We can edit. We can edit anything out here. Um,
Okay. Can you see me?
yeah, yeah, I got you. So I was just asking
Um,
you what
yeah, dreams,
your ultimate
aspirations to
goals.
the
Yeah,
NFL.
yeah, just
I think the
playing in the
biggest
NFL,
thing when I
just making it.
yeah, I think the biggest thing when I was um just dreaming of NFL, I felt like the biggest thing was just playing NFL. Honestly, playing with those stars on the field and just being a part of that. I think that will be just a blessing in disguise. Doing that and but yeah, it was never just like um, I guess not more than that. I guess I don't know.
17. You wore 17. Was there any significance in 17? How did you pick 17?
I had 90 going into college, and I wasn't playing with 90, so I knew that next year I was gonna be playing a lot more. So I wanted to have 17. With that, I didn't see a lot of defense ends with 17, so I wanted to be different. And wear 17.
John, man, we wish you nothing but success, man. We enjoyed watching you at Minnesota. I think you're going to have a great NFL career. And hopefully the Niners grab you. It would be great to see. I do the Niner pre and post. It would be fantastic to see you lined up opposite Nick Bosa, rushing the quarterback here in San Francisco. But wherever you wind up, man, nothing but our best to you and in your NFL career that lies ahead. And thanks for jumping on the show today. We really appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Jah Joyner. We got more straight ahead. It's the Krueg Show. Thanks, Jah. Appreciate you, man.